was watching a montage of him and Dwayne Wade's lob connections.
All my son's move of the game. Yeah, that's old school right there.
Yep.
That's a few years ago.
He's got the YouTube compilation together of just him and Wade just throwing lobs to one another, and just the from the over the head passes to the off the backboard to the full court Indiana Pacers. Everybody remembers that one, of course.
I would be okay with just replaying nightly, just in order, all the games during the Big Three era.
I would like them to do that.
All the
Like
wins.
if Fox Sports Sun could do something like that, playing Heat Classics. I tell you who loves this. I used to catch him all the time doing this. I would get so mad at him, and that was my boy Slim. I would catch Slim watching old Heat highlights, and I'd be like, "What are you doing? We got a season going on here. You should be paying attention to Deion Waiters," and he's sitting here reminiscing about the old. He's like watching Heat porn. I'm like, put that away.
Look, this is like Heat porn, though. I mean, look at LeBron, the alley-oop from Dwayne. Look at this, the steal. Fast breaks during that time. Look at that. I mean.
Do you think at any point does LeBron's son Bryce look to his dad and say, "Why did you leave this?"
I'm sure that conversation has been had, right? Bryce is old enough now where he can just like stand up to your dad. Like, my 14-year-old, she'll tell me stuff in my face now. So he's in high school. He'll definitely, I think, tell his dad that. He's like, but then again, his dad could just say, "Hey, I want a ring there."
Great. You want a ring, but like also, so let me get this straight. He's like, "Dad, so let me get this straight. You played with your best friend in an amazing city. You guys had this awesome connection and chemistry this entire time. You guys were winning multiple championships, and you decided because of sneakers that you had to go play with Kyrie Irving, who's a sourpuss."
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Basically,
who's never healthy and then left you in the middle of it.
This is 15 minutes of reminiscing. Forget 15 minutes of Heat, because that was. I tell people this all the time. There will never be a better 4-year stretch of covering a sport as a reporter and as a fan than that 4-year stretch. It just won't happen. It just you can build. I mean, the Heat are going to win championships again. I mean, I'm confident of that. I think the Dolphins are going to be good soon. I think they're going to be fun.
You know what?
But that 4-year stretch, there's nothing like that.
I think we're in a good 4-year stretch here. I don't want to watch this stretch. You know what? I'll go and I'll watch Bam Adebayo lobbing to Derrick Jones Jr. Samesies. It's like you move on to the new thing. I've gotten bored of this category. When you go to Pornhub and sometimes you go and you slay through an entire category, moving on.
This is a category on my
nope.
phone. This is
moving on. I've seen everything in the MILF category. Moving on.
I enjoy this is the MILF category.
This is the MILF category. Timeless. Timeless.
You've made them that old? They're old now.
It's old. It's old. You got to move on. It's the MILF category. Now I got to move on to something fresh.
I you got
to sometimes you got to get daring when you go to the videos. You go to the trending videos on Pornhub. You never know what's going to pop up. Something exciting.
This should be trending always. This should always be. Look, LeBron is trending it right now because he's watching it.
Because he's like, man, I was so like, his son has to look at me like, you left this dummy? Really? At least for LA, I can understand. For Cleveland,
we tell people, I think I may have told you this conversation before. Early this season, maybe really early this season, I saw Bam Adebayo pregame, came over to say hello. We were chatting a bit, and we were talking a little bit about, the stuff with the Heat and the current team and how they looked. And he asked me about the Big Three era and how much fun that was, to cover. And I said to him, there's no way I could explain this to you. It was like, there's no way I could explain to you how crazy those 4. It was like a rock concert. You should have told him every single night.
You should have told him it's going to be like that when you bring Giannis here, your best friend.
Little undercover. By the way, Bam is the best recruiter in the world.
Everybody loves him.
Bradley Beal jersey the other day, we saw there's already the picture of him exchanging jerseys with Donovan Mitchell. So Donovan automatically the fight with Gobert, you gave him Corona. That's it. It's over. There's no coming back from that relationship. Nope. You gave him Corona.
That's it. Sorry.
And for being careless.
Yep.
And so Bam has intel on every superstar
you think
in the league.
Bam would ever give Jimmy Butler Corona?
No, he wouldn't be rubbing Jimmy Butler if he wasn't feeling well.
He would be wearing a hazmat suit.
No, he would protect his. He would protect his teammates.
It is strange though. Like everybody loves. Like Bam has turned into this like conduit to every star in the league. Everybody seems to love him
because everybody loves Bam. Because what is there not to like about Bam? Well, let's be honest. He's a great guy. He's a star in development, but he doesn't have the ego that maybe comes attached with many stars. He understands that he got to keep working hard, that he can get even better. He's only 22 years old.
It would be funny if Bam comes back after the hiatus and he's just like all full of himself and starts talking in the third person, like refers to himself. Listen, Bam's not going to be out here picking up the slack for everybody on defense.
Have you met Bam's mom?
Oh,
she will not allow that to happen. His mom will not allow that.
I love the fact she's like at every game.
She's
when
the best.
When they throw her up on the jumbotron, it's awesome.
And I love his relationship with her because there's nothing more important to Bam than his mom, and she's still mom, and she's still raising him. I mean, she still makes sure he's got a good head on his shoulders.
Somebody wants to know what kind of porn is the 30 and 11 Heat team. It's like when you have you venture into the old BDSM every once in a while, see some leather. It's a little scary. You're watching it, but hey, it still ended up being a good time. But you knew it wasn't good for you. That's what that was. If I could put a category on it.
I've already forgotten the 30 and 11. To be honest with you,
yeah,
that's something I will not watch again.
Those are the times.
I will not watch.
Those are the times where it felt satisfying at the time, but you knew that was a phase you probably shouldn't have been a part of.
I'm not going down memory lane with 30 and 11.
Let's just moving on.
I remember you know what I remember about 30 and 11? I remember the All-Star break, looking at John at Crotty, not the All-Star break, but the halfway point when the Heat were whatever the opposite would be. They were terrible. And I looked at John and I said after a show, I said, "Oh my God, we are covering the worst team in the NBA. How in the hell are we going to get through this next 40 games or so?"
Yeah.
And then we went 30 and 11.
I know. What a mistake.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it was fun though.
Things happen for a reason. Like they got Bam Adebayo in the stretch after, all these things that happen. Things happen for a reason. And Pat Riley, to his credit, he makes his mistakes, but man, he cleans them up too.
Yeah.
And he has with this franchise.
He certainly does. He comes up with those things to go. Another text writes in, "We got the best version of LeBron, and it kills Cleveland inside." I agree.
Oh, there's no doubt. Look, by the way, LeBron is having a phenomenal year. Some would say he's the MVP of the league. I wouldn't argue that. He's been incredible.
He's been incredible. He definitely has an argument for how he's been playing. I still think Giannis, because of LeBron's sidekick, like I do have to give more credence to Giannis because I think Chris Middleton's fantastic, but
he's not Anthony Davis.
But he's not Anthony Davis.
Yeah. No, I to the texter's point though, you won't see a better LeBron in a 4-year stretch from. He got here and he refined his game to become the player he is now. So the LeBron that you're seeing now is because of what he learned in the 4 years in Miami, and from a leadership, from a ball handling, from a facilitating, from an everything. LeBron learned how to be a more complete player and teammate in Miami, and it's translated to what he's done now in Cleveland and in LA.
Somebody says the 30 and 11 team is the 45-second porn clips that end too soon, so they're a teaser. That's perfect.
That's actually a hell of a description. I think you took the prize on that one.
Give that guy a point, Robbie. That guy deserves it.
You win. How did 15?
Just when it's getting to the good part.
How did 15 minutes of Heat become 15 minutes of porn? What's going on? What sports, come back. What have you done to us?
This is sports.
Yeah, that's a good point.
This is sports. This is
as sporty as it's gonna
LeBron. Don't blame me. LeBron was the one who was.
He's reminiscent.
We're going down the rabbit hole. He goes.
I may just do that later.
Those were the days.
I got a few hours before I pick up the kids. I may start looking at YouTube of the Heat days.
I'm telling you, man. I would catch Slim. He'd go down these rabbit holes of just watching them. I'm like, knock it off. Knock it off. We got to focus on Derek Williams.
Oh, my God. Remember that? We're going to fix the former number 2 pick in the draft.
Oh, my God. Who got robbed? He just got robbed by a stripper.
Yeah, the Heat culture didn't work too well with him. God. Heat culture didn't turn out too well with him. It's not, as Spo says, it's not for everyone.
Somebody says, personality-wise, Bam is the new Tim Duncan, top-notch man. He's I don't know. Tim Duncan does I know he's a. I'll tell you what. There's a couple things that are interesting about Tim Duncan. One, he has hair now, which is which throws me off. Two, do you
good
know
hair too?
Yeah. Do you know he does Muay Thai?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he does martial arts. Go watch Tim Duncan doing some kickboxing, and you're gonna be. You're gonna be flabbergasted.
Well, you were at the San Antonio game a few months ago, right? The home game here.
Yeah.
And he looked like he could still play.
Yeah.
Tim looked good. He looks
I saw him feeding LaMarcus Aldridge in the warm-ups. I'm like, this is so weird.
It is very weird to see him because he was the kind of guy that you respected so much, even though you hated him, because he's just so consistently good.
Yeah.
But Bam, I think there's a side of Bam that I think people are going to start seeing. Bam has a great personality. Bam is a really funny guy, and you've seen it a lot in the locker rooms, being there with Jimmy and Bam and with Gore and those those post-game moments that you're there a lot. Hopefully, we'll be able to see again in locker rooms. But Bam has a great personality, and I think it's coming out more the better that he is playing and the more he is recognized.
So much fun.
He's going to be a superstar.
This has been a fun year.
He's a superstar.
As far as years are concerned, though, going back, it's definitely the most fun year since the Big Three.
Yes, it
definitely is, and I would even venture to say it's probably the most fun year since 2013. I mean, because you had the fun year in 2014, but it had such a bad ending that you can't not have that in your mind of what happened.
Yeah,
it was just such a because 14. Was that the year that LeBron scored 60? I think it was.
Yeah, 61 against the Bobcats.
Yeah.
So you had that. Wade was doing the maintenance program.
I think the big 3 years, though, they almost have to stand out on their own. You can't compare them to other years. I always go back. Dwayne's rookie year, that was the most fun I had.
Yep, that was a fun year.
And that was back then. I was mostly reporting, so I had to be at the games reporting a lot for Channel 10, and that was a fun team to cover. I mean, that was because it was so unexpected in the growth of Dwayne, and you could see they were trending up. Those were fun teams. But the big 3, they kind of have their own place. Those 4 years, like I said, it was a concert every night. It was every practice. You don't talk about media and close perimeters to players. I mean, there was 15 cameras in front of players every single day. No one missed those practices and interview sessions and all those things.
Texter writes in, all right, guys, we get it. You love Bam. We do love Bam.
We do love Bam.
I love him.
Yeah, I can tell you he's my favorite player to cover on the team and to watch play. I have no problem saying that.
Yeah, he's so great. I love him.
So you should too. By the way, if you're a Heat fan, you should too. He's a phenomenal player.
Yeah, don't miss. Like I was saying this at the start of the week because I just feel like you don't miss out Miami. Like you really do have a blossoming star in him. Now you're not going to see him for a while, so maybe it'll make it'll make the heart grow fonder. Go watch the Bam category.
Go watch Bam alley-oops.
Go watch that on Heat. All right, go out there on HeatHub. You go to HeatHub. You hit the Bam category. Enjoy. All right. I love it.
We love Bam. It's okay. I'm not ashamed to say that I love Bam.
And don't be too afraid when you click on the Baby Goat category. That one's fun too. All right.
Really tell her here.
A lot of swag in that category.
I love Bam.
That was the best thing. That was the one parting gift Dion gave us. I was so happy with that. Made me happy.
Wait, that was Dion?
That's Dion. Yeah.
Oh, he lives. Thank you, Dion, for that.
Yeah, you gave us one good thing to end. You gave us the Warriors game winner, and you gave us this. Everything else, go to hell.
Well, what was the one? There it is. Man, Robbie, you read my mind. I was saying, what was the one he did with Jax where he walked off Philly cheese? That was preseason this year, wasn't it? Our preseason winner circle, Dion. Give it to me again.
Philly cheese.
And then we never heard from him until the Clippers game. Crazy. Oh, the Dion era.
By the way, he'll always have a soft spot in my heart, too.
Really?
I liked Dion. I had a personal relationship with Dion. I liked Dion personally. Like, I thought...
Everybody seems to love Dion personally.
And that's the thing. You talked to his former teammates, and you talked to Spo about it. I know he screwed up. I know he did some stupid things. And I know that he was a me-first guy in a lot of ways. And that's annoying. It certainly doesn't fit into the Heat culture mode, right? But there was something endearing about Dion where it was just Dion being Dion and you can sort of deal with it, as opposed to if other guys were that way, it would be annoying. I wish him the best. I hope he does well. And obviously now with all the uncertainty, but I hope he has a long career ahead. He's still a young guy, and I hope he straightens out everything in his life. And I like Dion.
I do too. But when you do hit the Dion category on HeatHub, it takes up all your data and slows down your browsing, and then all of a sudden you can't be on the internet anymore.
No, there's frustrating endings there. It's definitely not a happy ending there. There's frustrating endings.
We're back after this.